I felt like my mom's death brought me the resurrection of Jesus that every Christian experienced, but I did not, when we were taught that in church. So here I'm like, yes, Jesus is in my life. I love Jesus. And then in that, it's like, okay, let me become a nun, and I did. I was a Catholic nun for 12 years in the South Bronx. And once again, I had a great smile. And I just, and I have a heart of service. So there I was doing service. Didn't expect really to be there for 2 years or 3 years, but I ended up being there 12 years. To be honest, I made final vows. So in my life of around the year 2003, when I made my final vows, I'm like, this is my life forever. But then yet once again, things happen in the convent. I mean, I wrote my book, Shake the Dust Off Your Feet, my memoir, just was just published in August. So it has a lot of details of my experience as a nun, for my personal experience, for what happened. I was emotionally abused, I felt. Once again, I was trying to please everyone. Once again, in hindsight, I had this empty feeling inside me, even though I was a nun and everyone loved me. I had the great smile. But yet at the same time, I struggled. I struggled with a lot of fear. I struggled with just searching. I didn't have that peace within, that ultimate peace within. I mean, now and then there was peace, when, done many service, when did many pilgrimages, and prayed a lot. And, and yes, Jesus, I married God. But yet at the same time, in my heart, there was just something missing. I was like, there was a soul sickness, and I couldn't explain it back then. And I did not realize it was until things happened in the convent that I was pushed out. I was kicked out. I was through a lot of pain and suffering, and I do have to say I experienced I united a lot with Jesus on the cross. The stations of the cross of his crucifixion and the rejection and all that, and all I kept doing is I just kept uniting it. And the reason why I stuck through all that abuse, one would say, was because I just kept giving it to Jesus. I kept giving it to Jesus. And plus, I'm like, why would people want to hurt me? Why would people want to hurt me? Until finally, after 12 years, the sisters had said, you don't belong here anymore, in so many words. So I had to shake the dust off my feet and I had to walk out of there. Was it a mutual response, like a mutual relation, whatever one will call it? For me, like I said, it was like I was against the wall and there was nothing more to do. I had to surrender. And it was, yeah, I had a lot of fear. I mean, I was still connected with Jesus. I was still married, but I was so confused when I left the convent. It was like, who am I? Who am I? So that was another chapter, another journey of that I experienced a lot of pain and grief and loss.
Yeah. And I wanted to touch on that. You have suffered a lot of loss in your life. Do you have any words of encouragement to our listeners, someone who's listening, maybe they are currently grieving right now? What words of encouragement do you have to share?
Oh, about those who are grieving. It's okay. Grief sucks, personally, but yet it is part of life. What I've learned from grief is that I'm very good at it. I'm a very good mourner. I learned it's okay to feel and go with your feelings. If you feel, bad one day, feel bad one day. If you want to cry, you cry. And it's just, I do believe God. I know God was in my grief, even though I did not feel him. I know Jesus was comforting me with, even though I did not feel him. All I did was I just kept moving forward, just moving, existing, just moving forward. And yes, praying and crying out to God for help. And in hindsight, because it's 10 years now since I really went through my heavy grief, that people say it does take time, but yet at the same time, I believe it's your personal journey. It's your personal journey with God, with Jesus. And the last thing I would share for those is not to lose hope, not to lose hope at all. And grief comes in all form and fashions. Everyone has a different way to grieve. Sometimes grief crosses over, you know, especially in a family. Like someone will grieve this way, someone will grieve that way, and it's okay. It's okay. You have to just be okay with yourself and say, yes, you know, I miss this person, or I'm hurt, or, you know, God, I don't like you today. And I think as you share and spit out and your true feelings of who you are at that moment, I believe God works in a mysterious way, and in the unseen world, in our faith, in some mysterious way, He will work and comfort and bring you to a point of haha, and then where you could really help others to grieve.